Good morning, Emerson. Today is Thursday, April 14th, and welcome to the season finale of GME. On today's hour-long special, we will be taking a look back at some of our favorite moments of the season.
And we have a special musical performance by Mariah McFarland, but first, for our starting lineup, Greg Brood is on the floor.
Welcome to GME season finale. Here is today's lineup. Introducing first, at news from the state of the NCAA national champion UConn Huskies. He has the news you need to hear. I hope you have a map because you'll get lost in his eyes. Standing 6'1", Steven Selnick. For your weather, from Staten Island, New York. You've seen her on Ellen, you've seen her on GME. Guess which one gets better ratings? I forecast a bright future for this rookie sensation, Lindsey Cannon. He's the sports correspondent who knows how to please his campers. Let's just hope it's not at Camp Good News. He's the showstopper, the main event, a Qdoba franchisee, Mr. GME Sports, and he's from the Get Down playgrounds of Mashpee, Massachusetts, Ross Flipman. He's the truth in entertainment reporting. He came all the way from Jerusalem to tell you about Charlie Sheen. He's so entertaining, he should report on himself. He was once found making out with himself underneath a table. Please welcome, at center, the big man, Omri Roland. And at host, she has the brains, the brawn, the looks, and the pecs to take on the world. Maybe someday she will bring GME to Telemundo. Please welcome in her final appearance on GME, the lovely, La Hermosa, Enaritis Rodriguez. And finally, also at host, donning the kind of sweaters that would make Mr. Rogers jealous, from Wolfboro, New Hampshire, more famous for not being related to Jerry Stackhouse than actually being related to his brother Brendan Stackhouse. He's 6 feet of pure man, but not the hero Gotham needs right now, Terry Stackhouse.
All right.
Listen up for that Bro Fest. You guys stirred everything.
Goodness
Good morning.
gracious. We
What a
are
great start.
so glad that you could join us for our GME season finale. We have got an action-packed show for you today, and we are so excited, but we are sad. Nonetheless, this is it.
Very sad, that's right, Terry. But we will talk about how an emotional mess you are later on in the show. But right now, we are going to toss it over to Steve Selnick, who is here to talk about what's making headlines. Steve?
Yes, that's right. Good morning, Emerson. I'm Steve Selnick, and before I start with the news that you need to hear, I was reflecting on this semester, and to really say how I feel, I can only really express it in song. Because I don't know much about history. I don't know much biology. Don't know much about the science book. I don't know much about the French I took. But I do know this news for you. And I know that if you listen to what a wonderful world this would be. Now I don't claim to be a good newsman, but I'm trying to be. 'Cause maybe by being a good newsman, baby, Terry will give his love to me. So what a wonderful world this would be. Now here's the news that you need to hear. Federal authorities are investigating exactly who is to blame in a JFK runway collision. This video shows a collision between an Air France jumbo jet and a Delta commuter plane. The much larger Airbus struck the other plane as it taxied past, making it spin around like it was nothing. The Delta aircraft suffered damage to its rudder, vertical fin, and horizontal tail. There were a total of 525 people aboard both planes, but no one was injured. Investigators are trying to determine whether there was a breakdown in communication between the tower and the pilots. Now, while most classes here at Emerson are starting to wind down, there is one just getting started elsewhere. Ray Logan has started teaching at his new school named Marijuana State University. He's gearing the class towards medical marijuana card holders and uses nothing more than PowerPoints to teach his lessons. He says that the demand for medical marijuana exceeds the supply and that education is the first step towards fixing that. A medical marijuana user himself from a skydiving accident, Logan hopes to make a small class a renowned success. Now back to two people that are choking up as I finish this sentence. Guys, save some for me, dude. Emerson and Terry.
Jeez, thanks for outing us. Thank you so much, Steve. Now it's time to throw it outside to our favorite weather girl, Lindsay Cannon. Lindsay?
Good morning, Emerson. I've had a great time with you this season as we endured the rain, snow, hail, sleet, wind, and not enough sun, as I danced around, sang, played guitar, rapped, and even stood in the gazebo in a bathing suit in below 0 degrees. And it's all been fun, but let's continue on with the weather madness with today's forecast. Today it's going to be partly cloudy with a high of 61 and a low of 39. Now for the 5-day forecast. Friday, sunny with a high of 52, low of 35. Saturday, windy and cloudy, high of 50, low of 45. Sunday, rainy, high of 60, low of 44. Monday, partly cloudy, high of 63, low of 47. And Tuesday, partly cloudy with a high of 60 and a low of 48. Now back to you guys at studio with Terry and Anaritis.
Thank you, Lindsay. Now it's time to check in with Ross Littman for your daily sports flash. The Red Sox still struggling. Celtics soon to start the playoffs. Bruins kicking that off tonight. Ross, what do you got for us?
Oh, good morning, campers. I didn't see you there. Is it already time for GME Sports? 1 minute. Let's do this. Need one more thing. It's showtime. All right, it's now time for your final GME Sports of the Year. It's brought to you by the letter D. Well, D standing for disappointment, which is really the best word I could think of to describe the Red Sox this season. It's like when that honor student in high school fails their first test. When their parents see the grade, they're not mad, they're just, well, disappointed. The final game of the series against the Tampa Bay Rays was canceled last night due to rain, so here's what I'll say about the Red Sox. This is no longer a case of the early season rust or the weather being too cold or this team not knowing itself well enough. This team is flat out playing bad baseball. And everyone is accountable, and that includes you, Red Sox Nation. I was at the game against the Yankees this past Saturday, and it was like a bad first date. I didn't feel that spark, that energy that's so commonly associated with the most passionate fans in baseball. I don't know if it's apathy or disappointment in this team, but for some reason, they can't seem to get their act together. The next time we'll have a chance to talk about them is in the playoffs. Let's hope that we'll have something to talk about then. And now it's time for the Camper of the Year. This award goes to somebody who has been above and beyond the call of sports and has had fans being watching in awe and amazement. There are a lot of candidates this year, from the mid-majors like VCU to Butler crashing the NCAA tournament to some golfer who looked like Zach Kusan going and winning the Masters. Anyways, in my mind, this one is a no contest. It goes to our favorite wrestler, Anthony Robles. Now, this man did not let anything hold him back. He was born without his right leg, as we mentioned earlier this season, but that didn't stop him from going on to win the national championship in collegiate wrestling. I wouldn't be surprised if this Camper of the Year had a nice place on his trophy alongside his national title, as well as an ESPY award in the near future. Now, I'll be back later on to talk about the Celtics and the Bruins' playoff hopes, and I'll tell you whether they can make it to the playoffs. In the meantime, let's go back to the greatest mixed tag team of all time, Terry and Anaritis.
Thank you so much, Ross. Now it's time to toss it to our first commercial break.
See you when we get back. Welcome back to Good Morning Emerson. Again, our season finale. Right now we're going to talk about dating. What do men really want? Dr.
Yes.
Drew, the new TV psychologist on Headline News, was talking about this with Hal Sparks the other night about what men want but might not tell you. Now, you are an engaged woman.
Yes.
What do you think that we want?
You want to play games, first of all.
Absolutely.
I think that it is ridiculous that every time you meet a man that you might like, all they want to do is ignore your calls.
That's all we want to do.
Why?
I just want to ignore your calls.
Why?
Because we got to keep you guessing. You got to play the game. You got to play the game. You're not playing 162 games. You're not playing the whole season. You're just getting through spring training.
But
You got to
you know
garner
what?
some interest.
This type of attitude is what leads to women acting all crazy and trying to like decode your Facebook
I
password.
guess we can't act
Figure
surprised.
out what your voicemails are, and that's when we find the skeletons in the closet. So those who play games, ladies, are players.
All right, don't play games. But somebody who plays no games in studio is our very own entertainment correspondent, Omari Rowland.
Actually, one of our correspondents who's coming up next, Pat Lambert, he does a lot of dating.
He does a
and
lot
one
of
of his
dating.
tips
And he's a class
is going
act.
online dating, but we'll talk about online dating a little later on in the show.
Let's take a look at what he's got.
Good morning, Emerson. I'm Pat Lambert, and tonight I'm at the dress rehearsal for one of the largest productions of the year, Kevin Bright Workshop's Live All Night, airing this week. Take a look.
Live All Night is a ton of fun. It's like a dance party going on right in front of you. Colin Kittredge-Smith and I are hosting it, and it's just, there's a live band, there's music, there's dancing.
Time Flies is going to perform four songs, and there's a bunch of party game segments and stuff like that. There's an interview and a bed over there where we're going to sleep with the band. Not everybody, just Irina, the host.
The bed is about sex, and shots.
So this show is a porno.
Basically with music. So it's like a porn musical.
I didn't know that was in the log line.
Well, Kevin Bright is a television producer extraordinaire. He worked on Friends, but now he's our advisor for the Kevin Bright Workshop, so he's giving us his sort of insider industry opinion on everything that we're putting together for Live All Night.
Personally, I think the production design is absolutely amazing. Definitely the best production design that the Kevin Bright Workshop has seen. I think the Bright Workshop's been going for the past 4 years, and definitely confident in saying that this is the best production design and execution that the Kevin Bright class has ever seen. It's very cool. It looks very cool in there.
Tune in to watch Live All Night at liveallnight.tv and learn more about the show's band Time Flies on Facebook, MySpace, and YouTube. For Good Morning Emerson, I'm Pat Lambert, but you should know that by now.
Live All Night. Heck of a production, heck of a party.
Yes, it was a big party.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of fun.
Somebody who's bringing the party in studio to GME